How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got our first episode of the Pokemon Twilight Wings animated series, which is a short animated series. I think it's 8 episodes. I might be wrong about the episode count, but we basically have a reveal here of what it's going to be like, or rather, we actually have the first episode already dropped, and I thought we'd just do a little bit of a breakdown on it. Now, I can't actually show you the animation. I'm just going to skip through a little bit here and there, but I can't play it, and I got to mute it, just because otherwise Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are just going to claim it, which you guys know is honestly a pain to deal with. So I just thought I'd, just go through this. But the first thing I want to actually mention is there's actually Ash. Ash is actually in this episode, and it's a little weird, strange hint. So big thank you, by the way, to Elite Four Mewtwo for letting me know about this, because I was watching the Japanese version of this, and I totally skipped over it. And as I was rewatching this one, I get a message, actually, in the English rewatch, as I'm doing it, I get a message from Elite Four, and I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, you're right, there's Ash is there, there's a hint at Ash. And what are we talking about? Well, basically, right here, if we zoom in, right, on this exact image, if we zoom in at it, right, and I'm going to open up an image here so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about, but if you zoom in here, you can see right there, ladies and gentlemen, see, it is Ash and his Pikachu, actually, standing here by the, I guess the, I'm not sure what really to call it, like the Champions Cup, like the Elite Four, basically, stadium, the quote-unquote, I mean, it's not really called Elite Four, but like the stadium for the quote-unquote Elite Four they have in Galar, right, where the champion takes on, challenges, and you can see, like, Rose, Chairman Rose, and Oleana are walking out, about to take a Corviknight taxi, to the Children's Hospital, where they're going to visit and just basically, like, sign some autographs and that sort of stuff, and, talk to the kids there, and we get to follow one of the characters here, which is like a little kid who's a big fan of Leon, and he wants to watch Leon live, battle live in a stadium, right? Like in live battle. And what's really funny, again, to me, is like we got a little bit of a strange little hint at Ash here. So I'm wondering what this means, because this version of Ash right here, like this in the background, like, is this some sort of canon thing to like this new series, or like what's the deal with it? Like, will we see him appear again? Like, what's his connection here? I'm really curious, man. Like, I'm really, really curious what his connection is here, because I'm really wondering what it's all about. I'm really curious now to know. But hey, I'm not sure what the connection might be. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with that. But what do you guys think about this? So, yeah. By the way, so this video is more or less a breakdown and a bit of a review of mine. I will say I'm kind of liking this. This is a cute little series. It's not like as, like, it's got a little bit more janky animation, I will say, which is noticeable because it is not made, I assume, by the same studio that makes, like, the actual main anime. Like, it still looks clean and good. Like, it's not badly animated. Like, it really isn't. It's actually really decent. Also, for some reason, this kid right here, this character really reminds me of, like, whatchamacallit. Like, he really reminds me of that main kid from, like, Digimon back in, like, I can't even remember, man. Like, but basically, Digimon character is what he reminds me of, like, for some reason. I don't know why, but that hair and that, like, shirt just reminds me of a Digimon character. And as you can see right here, there are more, like, little weird, like, just drawings and stuff, like, of Charizard, because the kid's a, fan of Leon, who uses a Charizard. You can see, like, Leon here with, like, a Charizard. Like, he's got a bunch of posters of it. He's got a Pichu and Pikachu drawing, Diglett drawing there as well. Just cute little things, But, again, this kid is apparently sick, which is interesting that they're going that path. Like, like a sick, a sick child, really, like, love it, like, being a big fan and, having Leon as his idol, kind of an interesting, way they're going down with it, but, you can see right here, he's about to, like, go away with the, ride away with the Corviknight taxi. Just before he does that, he, or he basically does it, but he comes back, he returns back to the kid, which basically shows you that, Chairman Rose isn't straight, I mean, he is technically speaking evil, right, within the games, right? Now, this is the problem for me, where the games kind of drop the ball. Like, if the games had given you a little bit of a more, like, stuff to work with, and, like, if you had like, a better kind of, like, a way to better lead up to in the story, like if the story had the better lead up and just better execution, I feel like we could have had like a really, really cool story with, like, Chairman Rose being this inherently, like, this anti-hero type guy, right? Like that would have been cool to me, but instead it ended up being like just, this weird, like, like you kind of realize, like, throughout the game, you're like, well, yeah, this guy's, I get, like, he's the chairman, whatever, but he did say clearly he's planning something, right? And then at the end when he does it, it's like, oh, hey, you player, go save the world, and it's like, but there was no, like, leading up to this. This is like, you just, like, this is overly expected, and also, like, why would I do it when up until now, Leon and everybody else has been dealing with it how come he's not doing it again? Like, it's just basically like, if they just like performed that side of things a little bit better, it would have made this character like way more interesting in my opinion. And I feel like this could justify the character. I feel like this little series could justify him. But this is the same thing that Star Wars has an issue with, which is like, you know, like they explain and make things better within the books and stuff, but like the movies like mess up and things like that. So it's like, I feel like that should be in the like in the first medium that it's all about, right? So if, for example, Star Wars, the stuff, that information that you know, that you're withholding should be within the movie itself and not in some third-party material. And the same thing with Pokemon is, it should be in the game, in the actual story gameplay, instead of being in a separate thing. Because here we get to see like a little bit of a closer look at, you know, Chairman Rose. We get to see that, you know, he's compassionate, right? And we do get to see that somewhat as well within like the, you know, the game, but there it's just not the same thing. I don't know. But then again, we do get a hint, like almost at kind of, I feel like almost a little bit of his evilness, like at the end here. Like when he's holding this, like I don't know why, but like whenever I look at like his eyes here, I'm just getting the feeling of like, is this guy a good guy or is he a bad guy, right? Like, I really can't tell. And that I do kind of like. I do like that I'm not able to tell it. And that's what I feel like it should have been in the games as well. But there was just not as, like, it just wasn't, like, I wish it was just a little bit more executed in a better way. But I don't know. I will say, though, for this short itself, if we don't count the games, we don't look at the games, we just look at the short itself, I'm intrigued. This is episode 1, The Letter. And I do like it. I can literally say, like, I do like this. I think, you know, like, this to me is like way better. And I think this comment right here actually gets this, like, you know, kind of right. This everyone can be a trainer feeling is what makes me love this frame. So, like, this is kind of intriguing to me, right? Because this kid, right, he technically speaking is most likely in the series going to become a trainer, right? But here you can see that, like, it isn't that simple for him, you know? Not everybody is born equally, and that's just how it is sometimes. But he can still, like, try to pursue it, and that's the thing about life, right? You know, like, some of us will be born with, like, certain gifts and, like, certain talents, whereas the rest of us, you know, like some other ones of us, we will not, you know? And sometimes, you know, the rest of us, we just have to work our asses off, and sometimes we'll succeed, and sometimes we won't, you know? But even when you're at the lowest of low, you should always keep trying to achieve something that you really want to do in life or want to have in life, right? You should always try your hardest to go for it. And I feel like Pokemon in this sense is kind of like, you know, pushing that idea a bit higher, and I do appreciate that, because this kid, clearly, he wants to see Leon battle. Maybe he's going to want to become a trainer as well. Maybe his goal is to be like Leon, or maybe he just wants to see him, right? So maybe that's what he's going to go for. And you can see here, like, you know, towards the end, he's actually caught by the Corviknight as he's about to fall, like right here, when... you know, right here, he's being, like, he gets caught as he's about to fall, because he's sick, so he gets caught by the Corviknight, so he doesn't fall down. You know, clearly showing that, you know, he's sick, but he's still, you know, he's sick, doesn't feel good, but he still ran up the stairs to try to deliver this message to Chairman Rose, that he really wants to see Leon life battle. And I don't know, I kind of think that's cute and intriguing. I've got to say, I like this, okay? I like this little animated short, and I do like where they're going with this. Though, this does kind of make me feel like, are they supplementing this by not having the whole, like, you know, giant Galar journey that, you know, in the anime, but instead the whole anime is going down a different path? Like, it's a really strange time in Pokemon right now, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's a really strange time in Pokemon right now. Like, instead of getting a third version, we're getting DLC. Instead of a remake this year, we're getting the DLC stuff, right? Instead of, like, the anime following the normal journey throughout the newest region, we instead have this weird, like, thing where Ash is going to go through all the generations, you know, or all the regions. It's just, like, the strangest thing in the world, man. It's, like, honestly, I feel like we're in like the weirdest of timelines right now, okay? Like, this is just not what I expected Pokemon to go. But they're really going down a strange path, and I can't even predict shit anymore. Like, I used to be able to have like a general idea where they're going, right? But like now there's just like no indication of what their path might be. Like, nothing really tells you where they might be headed, right? Like, I didn't expect the Mystery Dungeon game in a long time, right? Like, I wasn't expecting a new one in a while, but guess what? We got one, and I was so happy to see that. It's a remake, but I'm still happy with it. It's the remake of my favorite Mystery Dungeon game. So, honestly, I don't know, man. I was really worried about Pokemon, but at this point, I feel like just being negative and being, like, you know, just in like this mindset of, like, you know, just hating everything just isn't really mentally good for me, and I'm gonna try to look at things a bit more positive way, and just enjoy Pokemon for what it is, right? At the end of the day, if there are problems, I'll still call them out, I'll still mention them, right? But I'm gonna try to not, like, put as much of my soul and being into just being frustrated with things, because it really isn't healthy for me, and also it isn't worthwhile. For example, here I got something from Pokemon that I do enjoy, right? As much as I didn't enjoy Sword and Shield, I do enjoy this short, and I do enjoy, like, the world of Galar. To me, looked really intriguing at first, and it still remains intriguing because it's based on the UK, and I feel like there's a lot that can be done based on that, right? A lot of historical stuff that can be easily done based on that, and I feel like that's where the DLC might come in really handy, because what I've seen from the DLC so far, it looks really freaking cool. A bunch of mythical stuff in there, like mystical weird shit going on, as well as like just intriguing stuff that just makes me really excited. So that to me is where I feel like, you know, perhaps I can, you know, this whole region can, and this whole generation kind of redeem itself for me, and I can enjoy it more than, you know, I did initially. So I'm gonna see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna keep covering Pokemon for you guys as per usual. But yeah, as for my review of this, I'm gonna give this a, as it's a short, right? It's a short, so it's about 6 minutes. So let's rate it out of 6 points, right? I'll give this a 4.5 out of, no, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 6, okay? 5 out of 6, mainly because, hey, it was actually pretty cute and enjoyable, and I'm just intrigued to see where they're gonna take this. It's a short, right? It's not gonna be much more than what it is and what you see. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think about this short? What do you think about the Twilight Wings? Do you think this is gonna reveal anything interesting at the end? Do you think it's gonna be some sort of way to kind of like maybe lead into, you know, like new information about the DLC and stuff? Maybe we'll get a few new Pokemon revealed to this. Like, what are your thoughts and opinions on that, ladies and gentlemen? Either way, let me know in the comment section down below. Have yourselves a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.